What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the day so far for the Johnny Depp trial. Now, at the time I'm recording this, and most likely at the time this video goes up, the whole day is not yet over. But I feel like we have a good grasp on the day so far, and some big stuff that I specifically want to kind of highlight in this video. So this will be like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial case for this day, and then if you guys want me to do one every single day starting tomorrow, definitely let me know, and I can do that. So what I really want to focus on is it's just so great. Amber's not looking good. She's not looking good at all. And when I say she's not looking good, I mean her story, right? So pretty much what we got, and this actually does tie back into what we talked about last week, right? We ended last week on this Dr. Kipper, right? Which was both of their doctors. It was originally kind of just talked about as his, but he was eventually brought on for Amber as well, and then he assigned, personal, nurses to them and all that stuff. So, and we talked about overall his stories and the reason why he was there. It didn't make Johnny Depp seem all that great, and it's something he has to get out ahead of in terms of the alcohol and the drug abuse and all that kind of stuff, because that's really the only thing anybody has on him. Is there's no proof of him doing anything. It's just that he has these problems, and they're legitimate problems, but so you have to kind of get out again ahead of them. So it was like, all right, well, you're not just bringing these people in to admit that he has problems, because that doesn't, arguably that doesn't look very good to pretty much anybody, right? So what are they there for? What are they trying to get from them? Well, we really got our answers today. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, like a Nick Rekieta kind of thing. I can't break down every single individual thing. So this is kind of just my highlights, my version, okay, kind of how I see things, but also actually what happened, today. They confirmed that they did not see anything on Amber Heard. So what we really got today was Dr. Kipper and then also one of the registered nurses, both of them admitting that there was nothing Amber Heard physical wise. And why that's important is because we actually got proof, like physical proof, date proof, that on, I believe it was December 15th was the supposed day that Johnny Depp, and it was bad. What Amber Heard described was very, very bad. Grabbed her by her hair, chunks pulled out. He was slamming her around the house. He was dragging her around the house. It was several days, of her just being literally tortured basically by him. It was insane. It's actually very unbelievable in terms of how it was written. And you would imagine, all right, well, if you're grabbed by the hair, if you're thrown around, he was hitting her. She said that, all this stuff, right? All right, you're gonna have some proof physically to show that, right? Well, she went to the doctors, to this Kipper, 2 days later, okay, so we're literally talking 2 days, and she was complaining about a headache. And they did a physical examination, and they found nothing. Okay, so 2 days after what Amber Heard described as one of the worst nights, one of the worst days of her life, one of the worst nights of the abuse of this years-long thing that Johnny Depp, the worst night, or one of the worst nights. 2 days later, she goes, and either miraculously she heals from everything except just a small little headache, or she made the whole thing up. One or the other happened, and I'll let you decide, which one seems most plausible based off of all the stuff that Amber Heard obviously is telling the truth of. So that, to me, is huge. We have really last week, and that's what they're trying to prove, right? With his Johnny Depp's sister, with his friend Isaac, right? All these people, with the personal assistant, with Amber Heard, that there was never any proof that she got hit at any point. That was never, only it was hearsay. It was only her saying it to somebody else. That's it. That's the only times it was ever kind of brought up. And that was a big theme, and it's really the biggest theme of last week. Well, again, now we literally have a doctor's appointment. She went to the doctor's, she gets examined. You have to make a note. And that's another thing they were trying to get from the nurse. If there was severe stuff that happened to her, you'd have to note that, right? And she's like, yes. If she was beaten that badly and she went in 2 days later, well, number one, you think she'd show any evidence of that, and number two, if that happened, yeah, you'd have to write that down. And nothing of that happened. And then really, so that was the biggest thing. That's kind of why I wanted to make this video. That to me is game over, okay? Now, maybe it's not game over in terms of the court. I want to kind of make that clear, right? It's something that we talked about last week. I don't know if he wins. From everything I've heard, it's such a hard thing to prove what he's trying to prove. He may lose. It may make a stalemate, whatever, but he may not win. But things like this today and last week just continue to show either she made a lot of stuff up. I mean, that's putting it gently, right? And she just does not look good. I mean, where's any evidence that you were physically abused by him? Where's any evidence? And the answer is, as of right now, there really is none. Like, there's pictures, but I mean, it's pretty easy to fake that kind of stuff, right? Which is, again, some of the stuff they're trying to prove. The other stuff that was kind of came up today was the finger, his fingertip, in which I believe Dr. Kipper was a little bit more, kind of staying in the middle. He doesn't know. I think Johnny Depp was telling him and told other people that he did something, or he didn't mention Amber Heard, right? But then with the nurse, she had brought up that she had said, okay, well, how did it happen? Do you know how it happened? And a lot of the stuff she just would not answer. And then eventually they got her to say, well, she's heard stories. She's heard multiple versions of how his fingertip was cut off. And the first story, so it's important for me, I guess. For me, I find importance that she led with this. So she said there's a couple different stories, and the first story she told was that Amber threw the vodka bottle at him and it cut the finger. So it's very, to me, it's like, am I saying the first story? If you say, well, I have a couple different versions, let me tell you the first one first. Does that mean that first one is automatically the truer one, or it's true? Not necessarily, but it's just odd or interesting that she led with that. So she led with that. And then the second story she heard is he bashed it with his phone. I didn't know a phone could bash and cut your finger off. I guess I should try it someday, but I don't know. So that was a good one too. I would say overall the biggest thing so far today, and I was waiting for it, right? I think a lot of people were maybe waiting for it, but I was specifically waiting for it, where it's like, well, again, why? Well, why are these people here? Could be a stupid question, right? Because it's like, well, they're doctors, so it's like pretty important, or Amber can use that for like the problems, which again, a lot of that was. That's the thing. These are witnesses for Johnny, but Amber's people get to ask them questions first. So really it frames it kind of bad for him immediately, but they're actually his people. They're people that his group wanted to show the world, okay, here's the people we chose, and then Amber's crew gets the first crack at it. And again, what that leads to is, okay, let's talk a lot about your problems, your drug problems, your alcohol, your detoxing, on your island, all that stuff, which doesn't look amazing. And again, and I've said this, and I've tried to make this very, very clear, I don't think he's a perfect human being. I've never thought that. He definitely has issues. He had issues. Maybe he still does, whatever. But that, and that's something, that has to get taken care of, and maybe it seems like it kind of has over time, and that's not okay. Some of the stuff that's happened is not okay, but it's not really about that. What Amber's team is trying to do is, well, because Johnny has punched a wall, because he's done this, because he's done that, clearly he's attacked her. Because you punch objects, so you must then attack humans. And that's not necessarily true. You have to prove evidence there, and you can't just write it in an op-ed, which and that's how they did it. So that's kind of where we're at, right? Where we have to unveil, or they have to unveil, yes, he had a lot of issues, and a lot of these people that they're bringing on has to admit to that. He had a lot of issues. That's not, and it's something I feel like he's kind of ashamed about, that he is not happy with that part of his life. But guess what? I mean, it happened, and that's a part of it, but that's not really what any of this stuff is about. And that's, again, as I said in the beginning of this video, it's the only thing that Amber's team can point to. That's the only tangible, it's a real fact, real thing that they can point to, because they can't actually point to anything he did, because nobody's saying he did anything. Everybody's saying he didn't do anything. So you don't have any of that. All you can say is, well, it happened all behind closed doors, happened to Amber. She's the victim. For some reason, nobody else can back it up whatsoever. So it's just her, it seems like. All right, that's it. And then you have to lean into his problems to say, well, these problems most likely, or no, not even most likely, they made him do this stuff to her. And again, today was a big example of her own doctor didn't even notice anything wrong with her. So at this point, the whole, when she gets, I'm trying to, again, also be careful because of YouTube, and YouTube doesn't like these kind of videos anyway. But when you say these stories of how much he hurt you and all that stuff, last week they tried to prove as much as possible, nobody ever saw her with the bruises, or if they did, it was just makeup or whatever, and she was faking it. That was last week. And then this week, it's that her own doctor, she had a small headache. She made an appointment for a small headache. That's it. So fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, if these videos continue to do well and you guys want me to do them every single day, I guess I can do that. I'm a man of the people, so let me know what you guys want. Or if not, maybe on Friday I can do like a recap of this week and just do that. So let me know. Or if maybe there's other videos that I have to do, other gaming news stuff, you know, maybe this stuff will be pushed aside just for a little as well. Let me know what you want. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. All my social media is in the description if you guys want to check that out. And I hope to see you all on the next video.